We made it to another week.
Oh my gosh, we did. And it's awesome. I mean, this week was really hard, but I feel like we got through this and we're getting there. What a nice, like, okay, I was going to lie and say, what a nice week, but we had freaking snow in Minnesota. So it's not a nice week if you ask me.
No, snow is not nice.
Snow is not nice. Not in October. You know, like this is when we had the beautiful fall colors and it's
this is when we're supposed to have freezing rain and sleet.
Yeah, tomorrow. That's going to be fun. Yeah, my
that's our usual October.
Yeah, I get to drive to work tomorrow. That'll be fun. I know. Icy weather. That's what you get. Live in Minnesota. You blink and the weather changes. Who knows? Next week it could be 90. I mean, like that would be crazy.
Jardy's here.
Oh yeah, I got to put on the comments. Jardy. Yep. Hello, lovelies. Yes, nice to see you.
I got to hang out with a really nice accountant last night.
Oh, was it? I saw it was Mr. Sam.
Yes.
Yes, I saw that picture. That's very cool. They're both great guys. Yes. So what's going on in Cara's world?
You know, it's just all about the election.
Oh yes.
I mean, the big thing that I'm doing right now, which is very exciting, is just going over the data and making sure that we have the most up-to-date data on our candidates, that we have all of our candidates, all that kind of stuff. I know we don't have all of our candidates. We always find some people who are running who either didn't tell their state affiliate or didn't tell national or, whatever, that are running. And usually it's a pleasant surprise and I'm like, oh, hey, that's great. We're just really combing through the data right now, making sure the database is very up to date, getting stuff ready for election night and being able to follow the different races and record the results and all of that kind of stuff. I know this year they've been talking about how are we covering the election for LP National. And I think the plan right now, so last year we did a Facebook Live for like 4 or 5 hours on election night. And then we were able to cover the races and bring on candidates as they won and that kind of thing. And this year, I think we might be doing a live blog event instead.
Oh,
so,
great.
I mean, we'll just see how this goes. I'm kind of excited. I mean, I know it's kind of a funky year because we're not sure how many races we'll actually know the outcome to.
Yeah, really. I mean, it's going to be exciting all the way to the end.
Yeah, it will. But whatever way it is, keep your eyes peeled because we will let you know how LP National is going to be covering the election.
Yeah.
And I'm very excited to hear about people's watch parties and all that kind of stuff. So, yeah.
I think that sounds awesome. I mean, I would say we should do a watch party, you and me, but I think it would end probably early because we'd be having cocktails with because you have some delicious drinks lately and I am. You
could come to our watch party.
When? Because
we're having our Minnesota watch party in Burnsville. So you could come for that and do our watch party. Because, I mean, you could just log in the next day for work.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it depends on what day of the week is the election?
Tuesday.
No, it's always Tuesday.
Tuesday, Heather.
I don't work on Wednesday. I mean, I do work on Wednesday. Don't tell my boss. I do work on Wednesday.
You do work on Wednesday. But do you have to go in the office?
Yeah, on Thursday.
On Thursday. See, so not a problem.
Yeah.
You could log in.
We could do a nonstop.
I got to work too.
Oh, yeah.
In fact, I'll work like a crap ton of hours. So.
What? Heather. I know. It's like when people they go, when's Thanksgiving? What day of the week is Thanksgiving? They're like, it's always freaking Thursday. I'm like, oh, yeah. I have such a problem with days of the week. I'm lucky I'm anywhere at the right time.
But yeah, so you could join us. You could join us for
the
Minnesota watch party.
We could just have like a nonstop party, like from the election to the next day, and we'll look like total crap for the Sweet Subversives, but it'll be awesome.
We could, because we could go live from the watch party.
That would be awesome. I think that could be great. I'm game, you know, because like, well, I mean, what else is going on? I think we need to have a party.
Yes,
we need to have a party that night. Okay, you sold me. I'm like driving, but if I could stay over there and then I could work a little bit in the morning, then should be fine. I don't have to open the library. It's all good,
right? Yeah.
Yay! Okay. So yeah, everyone's like, "What?" They're making plans.
We are. Yeah. Oh, that's right. We're doing a show right now.
Yeah. Yeah, we can keep going with that. We have a lot of really great things in our show tonight, too.
We do. So we're going to have 2 guests tonight because one just wasn't enough. We're going to have 2.
It's a star-studded event.
It is. So we're going to have Brad Barron, and he is running for Senate. And he's running against the Turtle Man, Mitch McConnell. And so we're going to have him on, and he's going to give us a little update about his campaign, and update about where the situation is at, and a little of the background on the debate situation, because he had made the criteria to be included in the debate, and then they excluded him anyway because that's how they roll. Mm-hmm. And then we're also going to have Pennsylvania's executive director on. Kevin is amazing. If you don't know what's happening in Pennsylvania, you all need to start paying attention, because Pennsylvania is just doing some amazing crap. And Kevin is definitely one of them involved in making all of that stuff happen. I mean, with their candidates, with their membership, the types of events that they're doing, all kinds of stuff, the marketing that they're doing. It is crazy pants, everything that they're doing. So we're going to get into that, because it would be really great that we all learn from one another. And if someone's doing something great, we share it. And then if you want to take some of those things and bring it into, your campaign or your state affiliate, or, whatever you're doing, that would be great. So yeah, we have a lot planned tonight.
We do. I love it. So should we get rolling?
I think we should get rolling. Yes.
I'll bring our first illustrious guest up, Brad Barron. Welcome. Let me add you to the stream.
Hey, Brad.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Brad, could you tell us just a little bit about your campaign?
Yeah, of course. I heard you mention earlier, I am indeed running against Mitch McConnell, a name that usually inspires guttural reactions from people. And I can assure you guys that I don't know if you're Game of Thrones fans, but it's one of my favorite shows. Mm-hmm. Do you remember when, and I just thought of this, do you remember when Olenna Tyrell was sitting at the desk the one time her and Tywin Lannister were together, and she said, "Rarely does a man live up to his reputation."
Yes.
That might as well have been Mitch McConnell instead of Tywin Lannister sitting at that table.
The Queen of Thorns. We loved her.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'll start out with, as you guys know, we raised the $100,000 to be on and met the debate criteria. Well, immediately the chatter started. Well, Mitch is still not going to debate you. He'll find a way to get out of it, which he did. Yeah. Amy McGrath's campaign was great to work with. They tried to include me as well, even at great risk to her. That's something that I think gets set to the wayside is, ideologically, we're very different than her. Truthfully, that's what I tell people. McConnell paints her as the far left liberal of Kentucky, when that's not true. She's a center Democrat. This was a fighter pilot. Right. It's not exact. And he paints her to the left of Charles Booker, here in Kentucky, which is ridiculous. And what he did was he reached out to this Gray Television. Now, of course, I say Team Mitch. He'll say, well, I didn't have anything to do with it. They just set the criteria. Right. But interestingly, all the other places invited me to the debates. the University of Kentucky, WDRB here, here in Louisville, Kentucky. Interestingly, as you guys probably know, I'm a regenerative farmer, an eco-friendly farmer. Yeah. Well, Kentucky Farm Bureau would not allow me to be in their candidate forum.
Really?
This is how bad it is over here in the bluegrass state. And the majority leader, I tell people that support him, I say, this is something that I'm sure the founding fathers would have loved to have happened, to have a made-up position to begin with of the majority leader that's not found in the Constitution, and him running around being in bed with these TV, with the media, so that he can just block any candidate. That's what we're really looking for, isn't it? And the interesting thing, you wouldn't believe what all went on during this couple month period when we were trying to get in the debate. The University of Kentucky reached out to me and invited me. Right. Amy declined the Farm Bureau debate, and Mitch painted her as she doesn't care about rural Kentucky, when the truth was she drew a line in the sand and said, if you're not going to have all the candidates on the ballot, I'm not coming.
Right.
And, Mitch wants to control everything, control the moderator, control the venue, control the narrative. For someone that's supposed to be so great and so powerful, he's pretty weak. Truthfully, I say, one of the things, it's like LeBron James. I would say, McGrath, McConnell, I don't care. Brad Barron wins in 6. If you get on the debate stage, I don't care where it's at. We can have female moderators, male moderators. It doesn't matter to me. A combination of, we can have liberals, we can have Democrats, we can have libertarians. Just get me on a stage with that man and watch history be made. And he knows it.
Yeah.
He knows it. And that's why he's a smart man. I'll give him that. And one of the interesting things, and I was talking with this. Yeah. I was talking about this with Nick Sarwark earlier today. Mitch, when Ruth Bader Ginsburg died, I said, you watch. This was on September 19th. I said, Mitch will make her confirmation hearing the night of the KET debates, or the day of. And sure enough, announced yesterday that he'd be, doing her Amy Coney Barrett's confirmation on the day of the KET debate. And he'll be like, it's a shame that I couldn't be there. Right. But Amy McGrath is going to debate me Monday night.
That is fantastic. That is good news. So you are going to be in that debate on Monday night.
Yes.
If
Mitch doesn't find a way to shut down Kentucky educational television, I will be on the debate stage Monday night. And I say that kind of sarcastically, but not really.
Yeah.
The guy controls so much.
Yeah.
It's truly amazing. So, we'll see. I'm going to do what I can. Mm-hmm. I'll be there with bells on. And hopefully people tune in. I was telling my wife earlier, Mitch might have a special news alert come across, just happen to be at the same time that we're on the debate stage. There's nothing I put past the man.
Sure.
So yeah, but it was pretty amazing to see him in action. Of course, when I say him, he'll say, well, I didn't have anything to do with it.
Right. Oh, yeah, that wasn't me. That was some staffer.
Yeah. So, but interestingly, one of the good things, regardless of what happens with my situation here, in the end, I think that us raising that 100,000 really springboarded some things into action, like Donald Rainwater and Ricky Dale Harrington's race. It kind of showed it was a great moment. We had all people, from the caucuses in our own party coming together, united to get this done. And I think it showed what we can do. And this is just another step. I'm taking on one of the most powerful men in the world. That's what people, I think sometimes people that aren't in Kentucky, and Trump's loud, so he gets noticed. McConnell is the one. Yeah. Mitch is running the bingo in D.C. Nothing gets done. That's common without Mitch.
So, and Michelle notes that in Ohio, the Jewish regional group, when they had a debate, they excluded the only Jewish candidate.
Yeah.
Because they were a libertarian. So I don't think people realize the depth of corruption in trying to exclude voices.
They don't. And think about Jorgensen. Let's just not include her in the criteria. Well, let me tell you what they did with me. Well, Amy McGrath put out a presser, or not a presser, but a news release whenever this started a couple of months ago. And she put in there, for the sake of our democracy, I invite Libertarian candidate Brad Barron. Mitch still will not mention me by name. That's part of his little game.
Right.
Yeah. And he also refused to have a female moderator. What? Amy wanted one female and one male, and he wouldn't do it. Yeah, I mean, everything has to be his way. I mean, it's truly amazing, really. I mean, I'm thinking here, I do most things off the cuff. I don't have anything in front of me. I'm just trying to think through some of the things to make sure I'm not missing anything that you guys would want to know here, because, I mean, it was every day. I mean, it's just crazy. Yeah. I mean, he just, and one of the things here is Kentucky is a staunchly pro-life state. And Mitch, our team Mitch, paints anyone that's not him as a baby killer. That's one of their big tactics. Well, he votes to fund Planned Parenthood. He doesn't want that coming to the public view, because, I mean, you get over in the hills of eastern Kentucky and they find out that Mitch didn't go along with Rand's amendments to defund Planned Parenthood. And one of the things I always say to these people that one of the problems I take is they'll say, well, your national platform is pro-choice. That's what they hit me on here, okay? Mm-hmm. I say pro-choice libertarian, truthfully, really is kind of more pro-life than McConnell is, because we're not going to fund we're not going to fund Planned Parenthood. In a libertarian world, we're going to cut out all that. If the private sector wants to do something, that's another story. But as far as the government's concerned, and one of the things, he tries to live on, I'm sure you guys see it, is his confirmation of conservative judges. That's his whole thing, as I'm getting all these judges confirmed. And TJ Roberts, TJ Roberts said one time, how many abortions have these people stopped? And I don't want to make this about, it doesn't matter. I'm not trying to get this into a pro-life, pro-choice debate. No. But I'm saying he runs on this like Mitch is saving the lives of the unborn every day. How many? I mean, and here's the thing, too. You guys understand it, but I'm trying to explain it to Johnny Q. Citizen when I'm out getting votes. That Roe v. Wade, for starters, is not going to be overturned. That's just all political fodder. They're not going to get in to overturning settled law.
That's a GOP funding.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. And if they lost that, what would they have to talk about? Mm-hmm. That's the other thing. And secondly, even if they did overturn it, what they do funding Planned Parenthood is they hide behind the Hyde Amendment, and they say, well, we can't fund abortions. Well, Rand pointed out the way that money is dispersed, there's no way that you can know that. And I say, are you going to say next that you're funding Al-Qaeda, but you're not funding their terrorist wing?
Right. Exactly. Just the humanitarian side.
Yeah. One of my funny things I say about Mitch is what happens when you cross a snake with a weasel.
Yeah,
and I mean, I'm not holding back with what I went through, and I'm not whining about it. I'm just saying, I ran this thing as a real campaign. I got tired of hearing people say, well, you libertarians, we don't know about you until election day, and you're just here to be a spoiler. You guys know I got involved in this thing very early. I kicked my candidacy off back in October of 2019.
Yes, you did.
Yep.
You were early announced. Yeah. And what do we do? So they say, well, if you want to run seriously, then you need to get out and campaign. You need to get yourself on the debate stage. Well, we do all that, and then they block it. Exactly. But it looks like Monday you will be on the debate stage.
Monday I will, but he's already debated Amy.
Right.
And see, they debated on October 12th. And see, my campaign was surging around then. And that's a big deal. With the early voting, we've already had 700,000 people vote here in Kentucky. So Mitch knew.
In my city, I think we're nearing half of our population have already voted in my city, in Minnesota.
Wow.
And so one of the things that I think would be amazing, and this is why people like McConnell fight so hard against including libertarians in debates. If you all watch the rainwater debate last night. I believe it was last night.
I did. Mm-hmm.
That was an excellent debate. And what the two old parties weren't able to do is just make personal attacks at one another. They were forced to actually give real policy answers, like thought out, substantive policy answers. And so for people who, even if they say, well, I already know who my candidate is, or, I'm not interested in voting for the Libertarian candidate, there is still a huge benefit to all voters by including Libertarians in the debate. And that is, you get a better policy debate instead of just having children throwing tantrums and hurling insults at one another. And that's what we need more of. So if people want an actual debate or an actual town hall or that type of thing, you need to start demanding that we include these other voices. And we need everyone standing up to speak for that.
I'd like to see the Green Party as well, because I get tired of the argument of who's the Libertarian pulling more votes from. Then get the Green Party in there, and let's have 4. And that way we're all on the stage. And so I try to get the Greens around here. Get yourselves involved too, and it'll help us. It'll help everyone if you guys will ratchet it up a notch too. Yeah, so
absolutely.
Rainwater, I know we're in an echo chamber. I thought he won the debates hands down, and I tried to watch it. And I tried to watch it without confirmation bias. And one thing I do have that where I can kind of do that is, when I debate Amy, I'm going to be a Libertarian, but there's also some things, this is a time with the COVID situation, you've got to throw in a little common sense populism as well. We can't just say reinventing the wheel from the word go. I'm going to frame it as, here's where we want to be, here's where we're at, and this is what we need to do now. But we want to end up here, but we can't close the door after the barn, or close the barn doors after the animals are out. You guys the old parties have put us in this mess, and we've got to walk our way out of it, and then jog and then sprint to where we want to be. And that's the way I'm going to present it. Because I think when we talk, one of the things we have a problem with is I'm more Libertarian than you are. Right. And that doesn't work. I have to take that moment, that hour on the debate stage, and get every bang for our buck I can get on there to lead people in the right direction. So,
absolutely. Yeah.
That's the thing. But and it's just part of the way it is. But I'm sure I'll get off and, look at the comments. Is that guy even a Libertarian? He didn't say that he was going to, take a bulldozer to the Federal Reserve.
That's how you know you're a Libertarian when other Libertarians tell you you're not. That's how you know you're finally a Libertarian. That's how you've made it. Well, Brad, I want to thank you so much for being on the show tonight. I really appreciate it. Look forward to seeing you on the debate stage on Monday. And very excited for your candidacy and what you are doing for other candidates and also for your state affiliate, Kentucky. Your race has really helped. Absolutely. Definitely helped.
Yeah. And I want to say one more thing before I go. I caught Ricky Dale Harrington's speech like a couple hours after he had done it. And I was almost asleep. I'd been on the road, dog tired, came in, and I couldn't quit watching it. I know. And I do this every day. And that moment, towards the end when he was talking about, if people are thinking just alike, are they really thinking it all?
Yeah.
And that really struck a chord. It's ridiculous out there. And I think, that is a theme I'm trying to tell the other candidates. Let's say something similar to that. What that Ricky did there is, hey, it reminds me of the movie Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. If you remember that movie when the little short round guy that was with Indy, when Indy was in the trance and he had to burn him and he was crying. It's like, I don't want to be mean to you people, but we're going to have to wake you back up. Because these people, on my page, if I have the Republicans on there, they're chanting the same stuff. The Democrats, the same stuff. They have a different profile picture, but they're the same. Right. And I'm like, do you realize that you are saying the exact same thing that the other people are? You're coming on here thinking possibly your thoughts are original. Scroll down through the comment section and you'll find yourself 5 or 6 times,
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, thanks guys. I appreciate it. Sorry, the lighting's not the best here. I've had a lot going on, and I'm trying out a new setup here, and I think I'm going to have to change it as well. I never
Not a problem. It was great.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right.
Much.
Well, thank you.
Really
okay.
Appreciate it.
All right. See you later.
See you later.
So that was Brad, and I am excited that he will now have an opportunity to be in a televised debate. That is very exciting because it was heartbreaking because I watched his campaign get the debate criteria, which seemed insurmountable. You had to have $100,000 in campaign donations. And it was just like, oh, geez. And, they put together a really great campaign and they did it and they met the criteria. And then they were like, nope. I mean, that was heartbreaking. So I'm so happy about that.
I am too.
Yeah. And, and then seeing our other candidates, and he's right. Yeah. Ricky Dale Harrington has done a spectacular job. He has been really good. His speeches, his time in a televised debate, really good. Same then again with Rainwater. I mean, we're getting that message out there, and it is resonating. And you see how it's affecting the polls.
It is.
Depending on the polls, in Indiana for governor's race, some are putting Rainwater at 26%, I believe, in a three-way race. But some other polls that are internal GOP polls are putting him either plus or minus 2 points away from knocking out the incumbent governor.
Awesome. That kicks ass.
Yeah. And it does show if our candidates do get press, if their message gets out there, if they are able to debate, that message resonates. But that's also why they fight so hard to keep us out of these debates.
Yes, they do. They're afraid of us.
Yes. And we have some other good news.
What's the other good news?
So this is New Zealand news.
Oh, that's
still good news.
New Zealand news.
Yes. So in New Zealand, the Libertarian Party in New Zealand got 8% of their vote, which means they get 10 out of the 120 seats in their legislature. They had one last time. They won one seat last time.
Yeah.
Now they have 10 seats.
Oh, Lord, that's awesome.
It is awesome.
Yay!
It is very awesome. We're also starting to see polls like Jo Jorgensen in Wisconsin. She's polling very high in Wisconsin. I think at the 7 or 8% there. Roanoke University poll in Virginia has Jorgensen. And this is polling people who have already voted.
Okay, so good.
Cash in the bank.
Yeah.
8%.
8%? Wild.
I know. So it's pretty exciting.
Because I'm old school. Everyone's trying to pressure me to mail in my vote. And I'm going to go on the day of because I like to wait. And if something comes in at the last minute, it might change my mind. I want to know all the information up until the end. And I'm also I don't trust anyone.
Jared says that Pence is coming into Indiana to try to shore things up for Holcomb.
Oh, Lord. Stay away.
Uh-huh. Oh, yeah. Alaska exit poll 8% as well.
Oh,
so
wow.
we're hearing some really good news, both on a national level for our candidates, local level. It's going to be a good year. It's going to be another good year. Last year was spectacular. I think this year is going to be another really good year. And one of the people who are helping to make it a really good year and helped make it a really good year last year is our next guest.
Yay.
And he is the executive director in Pennsylvania. So we'll bring Kevin in.
Yeah. Hi, Kevin.
Hey, Cara. Hey, Heather.
He joined us early. Now, I know you are having a little something to drink, or maybe you already drank it.
I am drinking a beer that was homebrewed by my neighbor, and I'm drinking it in a Libertarian glass. There we go.
I have one of those glasses that I got at your convention.
Yeah, you have to earn it. you have to get blackout drunk at our convention, at our state convention, and then we give you one as a consolation prize for the hangover.
It's so you can vomit into it on your way to your room.
Exactly.
Oh, I'm jealous.
Exactly.
Like awesome.
I earned mine. So my drink tonight, Heather is still doing Sobertober.
Sober October, yep.
So you're having...
I know, but it's been going well. So, okay, I can't complain.
Yeah.
Good.
She's reaping health benefits.
Yes.
So that's good.
So
mine is straight vodka, but it's 3 different kinds of vodka. It is whipped cream vodka, and then like a green apple vodka and a caramel vodka. And it's kind of nice because you get it in these little packets, and then you just pour it together over ice. And then like this one makes a caramel apple, and it really does. It tastes like a caramel apple Jolly Rancher. It does not taste like straight vodka.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah. But yeah, so I'm happy with my non-Sobertober drink.
You're feeling no pain.
Right, exactly.
Already have a question from the Peanut Gallery. What's the 2021 calendar going to look like, Kevin?
So Jared is referring to my real estate calendars, and every year I send these calendar magnets out to all my clients and friends and anyone. And every year they're more bizarre than the last. Normally the real estate agents, they send out a calendar magnet, just has their stupid mug on it, and put it on your fridge and you forget about it. Mine, I try to be as bizarre as possible. So I'm in some sort of costume, and there's a background, and there's props and everything. And if you go to my Facebook page, I have a whole album full of all these calendar magnets that I've done over the years. And
I have 2 of them.
Oh, good.
I'm going to look in the background. Oh, my Lord.
Anyway, Jared or Jardy or however he is these days.
Yeah.
I'm not going to tell you what the magnet is going to be this year. It's going to be a surprise, but you'll get one. You're on the list.
I'm excited. Very excited. So one thing I wanted to talk to you about is, so you are the executive director for your state affiliate. What does an executive director do?
Everything.
I know, right?
There's nothing an executive director should not do. I mean, so I come at this from a small business person perspective. I own a small real estate brokerage. We have a few agents. But I do everything. I do the books. I clean the toilets. I do the advertising. I sell houses. I do everything. So I take that mentality and I bring it to the executive director job, because that is what we need in this party, especially a small state affiliate. All our state affiliates are small compared to the big parties. There's nothing that I don't do. And if something needs to be done and we don't have volunteers willing to do that, I step in and I do it.
Right. And so what are the major areas, though, that you focus on?
So specifically, I'm trying to bring in donations, also recruit members, dues-paying members to the party. Those are the 2 big things that I do, because if you don't have money, you can't do anything else. Mm-hmm. Second to that, I also try to recruit candidates. We do ballot access drives, because the state of Pennsylvania, where we are, is a petitioning state, so you have to get signatures to get on the ballot. Other states, it's not easy, but that requires a coordinated effort. This year, I coordinated something like 220 volunteers, and that's what it took to get us over the hump to get Joe on the ballot.
So I just want to stop. How many volunteers was that?
Exactly 221 volunteers collecting signatures.
So I just want people to pause for a moment, because I can't even contemplate finding 221 volunteers in most state affiliates. And I'm not saying anything bad about those state affiliates. I'm saying you casually threw out a number that is unbelievably amazing. And I don't think that you even understand how crazy that is.
So I started trying to organize people in 2016, and that was the Gary Johnson campaign.
Yeah.
And, we had to collect signatures to get on the ballot, but there was no central person organizing any of this.
Yeah.
I was out there at the polls collecting signatures on primary day, and I didn't know where to send the petition sheet when I was done. I didn't know what I was supposed to do with it. Did I fill this out correctly? I don't know. So, I started asking people in the state party, is this done correctly? Where do I send it? No one knew. There was no central organization going on.
Right.
And somehow, thanks to national, I think, we got on the ballot in Pennsylvania that year. But that was an aha moment for me. And it occurs to me, all right, no one's doing this. I have to step in. I have to do something. Otherwise, we're not going to be able to get on the ballot in subsequent years. Yeah. So, Cara, as you know, I started a Facebook group for volunteers in Pennsylvania. Yeah. And I had to build a network, and it's taken, 2-3 years to get this done. But now we have a substantial network. We've got 300 volunteers in there, and we educate them on how to petition, where to petition, why we need to petition, where to send the petitions when you're done. We have this centralized repository where people can send their petitions when they're done. We have cataloging parties now where we all sit down at the computer and we scan everything and we put it in a spreadsheet so we know exactly down to the number how many petitions we have. Yeah. And, we have maps so we can collect petitions in overlap areas and help multiple district candidates at the same time. But it has taken 3 years to get us to this point.
Mm-hmm. Well, and so you looped me into that group when you were organizing it, and it was before you had the cartographer draw your maps. And so I get looped into various groups to kind of watch what they're doing or help coordinate or, different things like that. And my interest was immediately piqued in your group because I was watching this organization take place and I was watching people stay engaged and get organized. I mean, I watched that whole petitioning effort and that was a thing of beauty. Like I wish I could see that in every single state. And I know every single state wishes that they could see something like that. And I'm sure people are trying to figure out, so you say it took 2 or 3 years to build this network. How did you get volunteers? How did you get them to stay around? How did you get them to do actual work? So what magic is this, man?
I come at this from a sales background and a marketing background. And the thing to do is to keep people excited constantly. But also in the back of your mind, you have to be thinking politically, strategically. So, I borrowed from Alinsky's rule for radicals, where he says, always have a new goal, continually, have a new goal so that people don't get bored. Okay, right now, we're just recruiting members. So I set aside like 2 months. Guys, I want you to bring every single libertarian that you personally know into this Facebook group. And I set a time limit for that. So, okay, that's done. Then after that, all right, guys, I need you to find every single candidate in Pennsylvania who's running because we don't even know who's running. So that was the next goal. Right. And then, okay, let's do the maps. And then when I put these maps out there, suddenly people are like, wow, we can do this? Yeah. I mean, in Pennsylvania, you're allowed to stack petitions. So you can list multiple candidates on the same petition. So what we did was we made these maps and we found out where the overlay areas were. And we were able to collect petition signatures for almost 6 candidates simultaneously. So, one candidate or one volunteer is doing the work of 6 people. It was great. So once we get to that point, okay, then we're going to do the primary day polling because in Pennsylvania, the petitioning period runs over the major party's primary, which is great because as people come out of the polls, we can get their signatures and they're a registered voter. Mm-hmm. So it's a very high validity rate. And then after that, okay, well, let's see what else we can do. And then after that, the challenge periods and then campaigning at the polls and everything. So you set it up as chunks to keep people interested. Yeah. And you never go more than 2 months with a chunk. And
to the next thing.
That's good. So even though you have these longer term projects, you're breaking it into pieces that have like little benchmarking goals or little sections that are no more than 2 months in a period of time. And that's how you're keeping your volunteers active and engaged. And then they get the endorphins of, we achieved our goal.
We won. Yes. Right. And then on to the next one.
Right. And then they're energized for the next goal. Right. So,
because success builds success.
Yeah. And at the first board meeting where I was hired as executive director, I laid out this long-term strategy, like 10 years. And I said,
guys, they cry?
They did.
Like,
they said, 10 years. But I said, look, if you want to elect legislators, if you want to build, county committees in all 67 counties in Pennsylvania, we have to start now, and we have to be continuous and, apply ourselves in the same way every single day. It's boring. That's what success is. It's boring routine. But you can't frame it like that because volunteers lose their motivation.
Yeah. Right. So you threw out another thing that I also don't think, well, you probably do understand how awesome it is. A 10-year plan. A 10-year plan with your ultimate goal of having state legislature elected. Mm-hmm. And then breaking it up into all these sections. So you've already gone through a couple things that people are like, which is the 221 volunteers for your petitioning that you managed. And that's for one project. That you presented a 10-year plan. And now you've been an executive director for about 18 months, correct?
That's right.
Okay. So you said that membership is one of the areas that you focus on. Mm-hmm. What was membership when you started? What is your membership now?
So I think we had 179 members on the day I started, and now we have over 600. So we've had like this 340% increase in 18 months.
Oh my God. That's crazy.
I would like to see it continue, and I would like for our national party to adopt the strategies that we've implemented here in Pennsylvania. Because if we can do it, it can be done in all 50 states.
Absolutely.
Imagine if we had a 340% increase in membership nationwide.
Yes,
I think it could totally happen.
I'm imagining it. So, what types of things did you do or were important to getting that number?
So, I work in real estate, and basically what I do is I market houses, and also I market myself in the firm. So I bring that mentality too to the executive director job. I am continually promoting the party, both the Libertarian National Party and the state party. So I threw a whole bunch of my own money in. I think I donated something like $16,000 to the state party. And I said, look, we're going to use this for direct mail marketing.
Right.
And we mailed 30,000 pieces of mail. We hit almost every libertarian in the state. We have something like 40,000 registered libertarian voters in Pennsylvania. So that was just step one. And we got a ton of new members that way. We doubled our membership with just that direct mailing. Now, as you go on, it gets harder and harder to add each additional member. It costs more and more. So you have to change your strategy. So lately we've been doing things like mass texting. We've been doing radio ads. We have been doing billboards. We have a number of billboards around the state, which you could see on our Libertarian Party of Pennsylvania Facebook page.
Oh, wow.
Yep. And we're doing other things too. We're reaching out across party lines because there are a number of libertarian-minded folks who are already registered as Democrats or Republicans, and they would vote for us and they would be involved if they thought we were serious. So the trick is showing people that we are serious. We're here to stay. We're going to get stuff done. Yes. And we're going to elect people.
Which is also part of having an executive director, right? That's part of that showing we're a legitimate organization, because you have your elected officers and they're looking at strategic direction and all that kind of stuff. And then you have your executive director, and your executive director is about, this is how we're going to make this happen. These are the steps, and we're going to do those steps, and I'm going to marshal my resources to do those. So you talked about how your membership increased. You also said that you fronted your own money, about $16,000 to get this going.
Right.
Which, if an affiliate doesn't have one person who's willing to put $16,000 forward, this is something that if you had a plan and said, this is our goal to raise X number of dollars so we can execute this plan, that is something most every state affiliate could do. Yeah. But how are you doing on fundraising?
Well, not bad. Actually, we're doing better with fundraising than we are with membership. So yearly, before I was hired.
Oh my God. Sorry.
I think we brought in something like $7,000 per year, usually, back before I was hired. Right. Last year, we brought in close to $50,000.
Wait, what?
For
50,000.
50
for 1 year. Yeah, that was the first year I was hired. We brought in 50 grand. This year we'll probably bring in more than that, probably like 75 grand, something like that. And this is a state affiliate. This is not the national party. This is, but
dude,
that's pretty damn good.
The way I look at it,
that's a huge difference.
It
is. But I don't look at this as something that I did, that I just dug this money out of the earth. The money was already there. People were willing to donate. We just had to find them. Mm-hmm. It's a gold mine. You have to dig, and there's the gold. But you didn't put the gold there.
No,
right.
But I think it has a lot to do with people that have passion for the party, who represent it well, like yourself, and they feel like things are getting done. I'm going to put money into this because I believe into it.
Yeah,
well, and it seems like these things, like once you start to get this ball rolling, everything works together. You start getting donations in so that you can fund getting more members, so you can help your candidates, and then your candidates and your members evangelize to their friends and people that they know in their family, which brings in more money and more members and more votes and more. Like, you just got to get that ball rolling the correct direction and keep it rolling.
Yeah, and libertarians, we hate any sort of leadership. We hate being told what to do. But ironically,
you're not the boss of me.
Exactly. But ironically, we need it. And that's the thing. I've never seen myself as someone who wants to tell other people what to do. I mean, none of us are. That's why we're libertarians.
Right.
But we need some sort of central, driving force, someone at the wheel in these state parties to make this stuff happen. And the executive director is what I call the deep party.
Yes.
They're not elected at each convention. They're hired as an employee. So, my employment's at the will of the board. They can fire me at any time, but I don't get fired as long as I'm getting results. And I think if every state party had an executive director, boy, we could really do something.
Absolutely. Ooh. And I think that aversion to leadership is because people confuse like a dictatorial management, hawking over your every move with what leadership is, because leaders are people others willingly choose to follow.
Yeah.
Right? So that's a leader.
Right. The leader's job is to inspire.
Yeah.
You don't boss people around. You get in the trenches and you do more work than everyone else until everyone says, hey, I think that guy's onto something. I'll follow him. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm good. Or my favorite, I like what he's doing, but I think I can do it better. And they go off and they do it better. We've started attracting those people in the party.
Yeah. Oh my God, I love that.
We attracted this guy who's running our information services now. He's kind of privacy oriented, so I won't say his name, but he's just absolutely gifted. And he sees problems that no one else sees, and he goes in and fixes them. I don't even suggest it. Yeah,
I love that.
We've got other people who are coordinating campaigns and handling social media, and we're bringing these people in because they see stuff happening, and there's this fear of missing out. Like, I want to get in now on the ground floor when the Libertarian Party is nothing, so that I can see it grow. So yeah, it's an ongoing process, but I think if people sense that there's optimism and there's hope and there's direction, they'll want to be involved.
So that was an area we haven't touched on yet, which is candidates. And I know last year was amazing for Pennsylvania. And I know Pennsylvania and Florida have had a friendly and not so friendly rivalry on who has the most electeds. And it's Pennsylvania now,
yes.
Right? Yeah.
I think we have twice as many as they do. So we have discovered this strategy by this guy, Chuck Moulton, who was one of our national vice chairs. I'm sure you know him. Mm-hmm. Guy's absolutely brilliant. I mean, he got a literal 1,600 on the SATs. He's just like next level intelligent. He came up with a strategy that may or may not work in other states, but it's optimized for the legal system in Pennsylvania, how our political system is set up. And because of that, we're able to get more folks elected than probably any other state party. Mm-hmm. Basically what we do is we have a lot of lead time after the primaries where we know whether or not a seat is contested or how many people are contesting a seat.
Right.
So we recruit candidates in districts where there's no Republican or Democrat running. Guess what? They win by default. Yep. Or we recruit candidates in districts where there's only a Republican or only a Democrat running. So there's only one major party opponent.
So it's a head-to-head. Mm-hmm.
Exactly. And we have had a lot of success that way. What we don't have success with is putting candidates in a three-way race because,
right.
Rainwater is amazing, but there's only one of him. And, it'd be nice if we had more of those candidates. But most people, they are willing to run if they think there's not going to be, two major party candidates.
Right. Okay. So, and you're right. Your situation is a little unique to your state. However, almost every state has some type of strategy that they could do. And it's just looking for where and how can you increase your odds for success for your candidates.
Right.
And every state needs to come up with what their strategy is and then execute that strategy.
Yeah, the core of the Moulton maneuver is use this unfair system that the powers that be have created to keep us down. What is the advantage in that system? And the advantage that we found in the system...
You did political judo.
That's exactly what it is, right? Yeah. So they use this attack against us. We used the attack and redirected the energy, and they're flat on their back. They didn't see it coming. They can't see it coming because once their primary is over, they can't run anyone against us.
Mm-hmm.
Every state probably has some loophole, some system that could be exploited. The Moulton maneuver is not just this specific set of circumstances. It's the idea of using a corrupt system against itself.
Absolutely. And, I love what you guys did with that. I know you also partnered with Wes Benedict and his group on, for your 2019 candidates. You guys had great success with that. I'm looking forward to more success with your candidates coming up. It just looks like everything is clicking along for you. You appear to have a really good leadership team in Pennsylvania. It appears to be very stable. People are hardworking. Looks like you got a pretty unified leadership group that is working towards this. And we know other states are doing fabulous, wonderful things as well. Areas where they're really exceeding and really doing well. And one of the things that we're looking at doing for LP National is, and watch for this and Kevin has come along for some of this training. So hopefully we will see him again in 2021. So we did get the approval for the rollout for 2021 to do the regional trainings for every region.
Good.
And we will be doing that every odd year. And then on the even years, that type of training will be at the national convention. But we are looking at training affiliate leaders on how to be the best at their job that they can be. And having our leadership teams in the state affiliates talk about what they're doing and what's working and exchange those ideas so that they can replicate them in each other's, affiliates or, even the county affiliates. So that's what we're looking at doing for 2021. So I'm hoping to rope you along. I know the people who were fortunate enough in Iowa to have the training that you did, they really loved it. And I would love to try to arrange. I know you also are super busy with Pennsylvania. And, you also have that whole thing of, doing real estate and trying to make a living.
Yeah.
And 3 kids, I might add.
I know. Oh, family. That. Whatever. They'll be there when you get back. It's not like your wife and kids get surly when you're gone all the time or anything.
Oh, my poor wife. I don't like to leave her alone with the 3 kids.
Well, and your wife is very politically active as well. So she's a trooper. Yeah.
She is. And she might be someone to bring to that training because, she knows more about this stuff than I do.
And we are entirely open to that. So we are going to be looking at, and I'm going to be finding out from each affiliate in each region, who's your superstar? Like, who are the people in your area that do amazing things and have things to teach? Because we need to get that information out to the other affiliates so that we can all start just kicking ass.
Yeah, and I've been telling people about that training program you put together in Iowa. I don't know if Cara's mentioned it on the show, but She got people from all the surrounding states, libertarians from all over, into this big Victorian house. And we had 3 simultaneous rooms going where people were giving classes on various aspects of running a political party. And it was very enlightening. I was there to present, but I ended up learning quite a bit from the people in Iowa, the people in Nebraska, because they're doing stuff that I hadn't even thought of. It's a great exchange of ideas.
Yeah. And that's one of the things, we talk about, and here we are, on, not face to face, but through the internet. But there is a value to face-to-face engagements that you just can't get online. Like, it doesn't happen. There's something special that happens when you spend a day or a couple days with people and you have these chance encounters and conversations that come up. So,
right.
Yeah, and that was really a fantastic setup. And it was nice because the other thing that we did was we had dinner together. And just by doing that, you have all these conversations happening, impromptu conversations. But yeah, that was a really excellent training. I still hear back from people about things that they've just now put into place. And the training that we're going to be doing is expanded a little bit. So it is going to be for state affiliate leaders to be really good affiliate leaders. It's going to be for candidates and campaign teams because there's a lot of overlap there. What makes a good affiliate also makes a really good campaign team. And then we're also going to have for our electeds. Okay, you got elected. Now what? So how to maximize your role as an elected, whether you stay in that role or you go to take that next level of elected office. So look for this type of training coming in the future. It's going to be pretty spectacular. I'm excited.
Yeah, it should be good. And I've been telling everyone in my state, you have to take this training program whenever it comes to our region. And they're all excited to take it. They're all waiting. I guess we just have to wait for the coronavirus situation to rectify itself.
Absolutely. Yeah, we've told the regional reps and alternates to start talking amongst your state affiliates and pick possible dates and locations, and let's get them on the calendar. We're going to plan as if this can happen.
Yeah.
And we're just going to go forward with it until we're told it absolutely cannot.
Good.
So,
good.
Because, if we don't get it on the books and we don't start planning, then we've just conceded all of 2021, and I am not conceding a single fucking thing. So,
no.
Exactly.
Cara, can I show Kevin's calendars? I have them.
Yes.
I want to show a couple of them because they're freaking hilarious.
Oh, dear.
Look at that. Look at him.
I have that one.
And then look at the next one. Drinking. I love it.
That should have been 2020's magnet, I think.
I have that one. Yeah, so I have 2018 and 2019.
Around the world.
Yeah.
Oh, and I remember you auctioned off that basket.
Yes, I did at the Pennsylvania State Convention.
Oh, you auctioned it?
I auctioned. I think we got like $400 for that. So, yeah, it went to the state party.
Oh, that's awesome. I love this so hard. Oh, and oh my God. The costumes are great. And I love the zombie one. That's one of my favorites.
That's really good. Who did your makeup?
Yeah.
My wife. She does the makeup for all these. And that's her in the next one, I think.
Oh.
Yeah, there you go.
Pretty lady.
See, there's your wife looking all awesome.
Oh, yeah, there we go.
That's awesome.
I had to buy a smoking jacket for that one.
Well, you needed one. Every man should have a smoking jacket. And this was the last one I'm going to show, but oh God, the clown one. He looks so sad.
Just think, people buy houses from that guy.
I love it. I would totally buy a house from that guy.
But I bet people get a big kick out of that. Like, I bet your clients love it. And they keep it. Like, they don't just throw it away. It's not just like, oh, whatever.
Yeah, some of them tell me, I've got more pictures of you in my house than I have of myself. And I'm thinking like, well, that's a little awkward, but I'm glad you like the magnets. I have people from like faraway places like California or Europe. They say, hey, I heard about these magnets. Can you send me one? So I just put them on my list and I send them a magnet every year.
There you go.
See, this is what I wish the LP would do more of, is more funny stuff like this. Because I am attracted to that sort of thing. So I would be like, if somebody sent me funny stuff, political, but even funny political stuff, I would be like, yes, that's awesome.
And that is the reason for Berman Supreme's success right there. He's brought thousands of people into the party, and it's because it's because of his comedy and his art, you know? So yeah.
But people get it.
Yes.
Here's the thing, it's not just stupid.
No,
people get it. Like they get it. Yeah.
My kids were on TikTok the other day and they saw Vermin Supreme for the first time. And I was explaining, this guy ran for president. They're like, really? This guy ran for president? And this guy's awesome. Why didn't you nominate him?
I know.
So maybe that's a strategy for growing the party. Absolutely.
Did you say it was actually fairly close?
I did. Yeah, he was I think he was number 2 or 3 in the final ranking. I forget what it was.
I think number 3. I think he ended up being number 3.
So close.
He has a cult.
Yes.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And when you meet the guy, you're like, I totally get it. He's awesome. Oh.
So at the end of our show, we always do something we call One Awesome Thing.
Yeah.
And it's where we mention one awesome thing that happened this week. That way we're sharing like good, wonderful, warm, fuzzy things. It could be something small. It could be something big. But it's something awesome that happened during the week. And we also invite people who are watching the show to write down their one awesome thing and let us know. So, I don't know. Heather, do you have your awesome thing?
Oh my gosh. This was not as awesome of a week as normal, but let's see. What was it? I helped someone today. A faculty person got on the phone with me, and I showed her everything she could ever want to know about libraries. And it made me feel really happy because she felt like she was struggling with classes. And it felt more like I did a therapy session today, but it was good. I was in the right place at the right time, and I like that. How about you, Cara?
That is an awesome thing.
I know. It's nice sometimes. It's little, but I liked it.
So I have been hating the paint in my dining room.
Oh.
Because, and Kevin, you will totally get this. So when we bought the place, most everything was painted beige.
Yeah, it really was beige. I've been there.
And so the beige that they painted this, and I mean, there's beiges where you can go to that lighter toasty tan color. No, they picked a beige that looked like the wall was just dirty.
Yeah, it was an
just dirty,
uninteresting beige.
And it has driven me nuts for the about 6 years that we've lived here. And I haven't changed it because we're always going to rip into our dining room and kitchen. But ripping into your dining room and kitchen is such a pain in the ass that
just it,
it'll happen when it happens.
Yeah.
So I finally painted it. Like I was done with it. And I just painted it, and I am so happy.
Oh, I can't wait to see it.
It no longer looks filthy.
And you did it without painter's tape, which I think is the most brave thing ever.
Because painter's tape is for cowards.
I know. I'm a coward, and I admit it, but holy moly. I love that.
Brush in a steady hand.
She videotaped herself, which also is another level. Like,
because I was videotaping with one hand.
And I'm like, holy shit. You're like a Jedi.
I'm not that coordinated.
I'm just really good.
Oh, Ginger wants me to show her everything about libraries, and I will. I want Cara to show me everything about painting because I want to know your ways, Cara.
Oh my God! Just poke your eyes out with forks. Jesus, that'd be more fun than painting.
Well, we don't want to dry. You can just show me techniques.
I hate painting until I get a quote from a painter, and then I'm like, okay, I guess I'll do this.
I love painting now.
So, do you have an awesome thing, Kevin?
Oh, what were we talking about? Oh, yes, awesome things. I think I'm just absolutely floored by some of our down ballot candidates. My God, I mean, the gentleman in Arkansas, or what's his name? He's running for Senate. His name escapes me right now. But the fact that he's doing so well it just absolutely boggles my mind. And Rainwater, he's a major player.
Yeah. Impressive.
Holy cow! I mean, that's just something that amazes me. The fact that we are at that level where we're being taken seriously now. And
we are at that level.
We're almost at the point where they can't keep us out of debates because the public's demanding a third voice, and I'm just grateful for that.
And, and I know this is a little controversial, but I am so happy that the Joe Jorgensen campaign did not do the third party presidential debate.
Yes.
Screw sitting at the kids' table.
Yep,
we
exactly.
Are past that. We are past that now. And separate is not equal. And I am not putting up with it anymore. I am so proud of the campaign for doing that and just saying, no, that's not where we're at. Because that is not where our party is at anymore. We are past that.
Yeah, Joe just impresses me overall. I mean, she doesn't bend to the middle. She's not trying to sell it to people. I mean, she doesn't care where the Overton window is. She says, I'm a libertarian. This is what we represent. And she goes out there, and I think she has garnered an awful lot of respect for that.
Absolutely. And she's coming to Minnesota again at the end of October. So,
oh, great.
Well, I say again, but yeah. So very excited about that. So hopefully I secured the venue today. Cross your fingers that it's all set.
I know how that goes.
Yeah, and now I get to have fun going back and forth with the state when I submit our COVID plan, because that was so much fun last time doing that.
Oh, geez.
I wonder if the other parties have half as hard of a time as we do.
No, because they just don't do it.
Yeah,
they refuse to do it, and they are able to say no on that.
Can you imagine Trump just sitting there and filling out this paperwork? I mean,
well, and they recently had a, I believe his son came and did the campaigning for him.
Oh, yeah, I remember.
But they had it at a farm just outside of the Twin Cities, and our attorney general in our state tried to call them and say, well, you can't do this. And, be real heavy handed about it. And they were like, screw you. It's happening. Like, this is on my farm.
Yeah.
And I did it. So.
Yeah, I don't understand. Go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was going to say, I saw Ginger had one too, but go ahead. Kevin, say what you're going to say first.
Isn't it amazing? We've got this First Amendment protection. You have the right to free speech. You have the right to assemble. And here we are having to beg the government for permission to have these political rallies.
In a presidential year.
In a presidential year. I mean, this is what the First Amendment is for. It's for political speech. We shouldn't have to get a permit for anything.
This has blown my mind this year that people are so okay with, during a presidential year, them just flat out saying, you can't campaign, you can't have rallies, you can't have political speech, you don't have a right to assemble. I never in a million years, like if you had told me last year, people would not only be okay with this, they would be on board pushing and supporting it. I would have told you were insane.
It is.
And in Pennsylvania, we weren't even allowed to petition, right? We have to petition to get on the ballot, and they wouldn't let us petition. The governor signed an executive order prohibiting political activity. I don't know how this is legal, so of course we sued him. You know about that, but it's just outrageous what some people are willing to put up with. I think finally we're starting to see some pushback, and that's one of the reasons for Rainwater's success. That's one of the reasons, our candidates are getting mentioned this time around.
Well, and it's the reason why they now have 10 seats in New Zealand for the Libertarian Party, and it's because the Libertarian Party was the only ones, and they were willing to flat out risk arrest and to say, this is against our country's constitution, what is happening here, and you cannot do this. Like, you cannot just force people to stay in their homes and put police at their doors. And I'm not even saying that the people are sick. They were just doing this to apartment buildings. So they were targeting low-income people specifically because, dirty people, and putting police at their doors.
Yeah.
So they were the only party to stand up against it. And in the polls, we see what happens. Now 10 seats.
Yep. They boiled that frog too quickly.
Yep. So, yes, we should show Ginger's. Yes.
And Ginger, they had an awesome
new business.
I'm going to have long-awaited business meetings to launch her new business. I'm so excited. I feel like I'm going to explode. Yay!
Congratulations, Ginger.
So what's the new business?
Fantastic. Yeah, we want to know what the new business is.
Yeah.
You have to tell us.
Excited. Please tell. Please tell more.
Now's the chance to promote yourself.
Yes, for free.
Absolutely. Well, Kevin, I know that you are super, super busy. I am very thankful you were able to take time and chat with us. I am hopeful we can get you out for those trainings. I'm sure other state affiliates now will probably be hitting you up saying, Kevin, tell me your secrets. We want to be your Padawan, right?
Yeah, and if you want, you can put my contact information up. I don't know if you have it handy, but
let's see.
It's Kevin Gaughen at lppa.org. That's the best way to reach me is email.
Okay, I'm gonna just write it. Kevin.
Yeah, it's hard to spell.
Ginger says that at this point she has non-disclosures right now, so she's waiting until next week.
You tell us next week, and we will talk about it on the show.
Absolutely.
Oh, okay.
Oh, man.
Well, thank you very much, Kevin. This was spectacular.
Thank you, Cara. Thank you, Heather.
I'll look that up, and I will put that in the chat, too, so if people want to contact you, they'll be able to.
Sounds good. All right, have a good night.
Awesome. You bet.
Thank you.
See you, Kevin.
Yay!
Well, this was kind of an information-packed show. I mean, it was exciting. So Brad told us that, yes, sad that he didn't get in the previous debate, but he's going to be in one on Monday. Then we had Kevin telling us all that amazing, crazy stuff. I mean, my God. I mean, going to 600-plus members. They got a 10-year plan in Pennsylvania. He was working with 221 volunteers. They last year got 50,000 in donations. Looks like this year will be 75. What?
Whoa!
I know. So I mean, we have a lot of really good stuff going on in the party.
I'm so thrilled. I love all the good news this week. This has been one of the best ever.
Absolutely. Well, thank you everyone for joining us. This was
sorry we ran a little long.
I know we did run a little long, but we had a lot of information.
I couldn't stop. I could keep going still probably, but no. We have to stop eventually, right? Just stop, Heather. Okay. So as we know, every week I plug that there is also a Patreon account. And someday, someone may send money to us, but if they don't, that's cool too. Whatevs. But I'm just going to say it's out there. And if we ever get money, I don't even know what I would do. So anyway.
I would get a microphone.
Yeah, I think that would be, how I know everyone likes to see my hair, but Cara not wearing a headset would be the first thing to go. And then we'd all be gorgeous hair every week,
Although then I would have to actually do my hair.
Your hair is so cute. Don't worry about it. It's beautiful and shiny. It's lovely. So you're like, yeah, whatever. But then you wouldn't have to have a headset on. It would be great. And then Mabel would find a way to terrorize your microphone. But other than that, that's pretty good. And I don't know. We'll see. So maybe someday, I wanted to turn off that. Someday we might get a microphone for Cara. So feel sorry for Cara, if nothing else, right? She's so sad. No, she's not. But you could send money. I would never complain. So anyway, thank you guys. This has been wonderful. I had such a good time hanging out. And we will see you next week for Sweet Subversives on Wednesday. And get ready for elections, right? More and more. Oh, next week is our Halloween special.
Halloween. So come in costume.
Yeah, I'm thinking if you're in a really good costume,
we're gonna put you on.
We can put you on, so you can be a guest on the show. So dress up, and we'll be dressed up, and you can be on our show on Sweet Subversive. Yes. So we will see you next week. So have a great week, guys. Take care. We love you, and see you later.